Gizmo, where's the accent? Why don't you have the accent, Gizmo? And I'm a guy in Finland who can't speak rally English. It's strange, ain't it? What an old story to tell. Yet once again I see myself retelling it. 8 years in the making, down in eastern Kentucky, Appalachia, among the mountains. It's 2009. Living the days of the old recession. I was sitting around with a IT, bachelor's, computer networking, felt unstoppable. Forget that stupid economic climate, they're wrong. Nothing's gonna stop me. That economy was harsh, I was wrong. Didn't stop me from being busy. Worked hard as a network specialist for what you can call a severely understaffed school district deep in eastern Kentucky. That's where I got my IT experience. That's where I continued to build my IT background. A school system that to this day is still using the systems I set up. Future-proofing, right? A county where the school system was the primary employer. A county that couldn't escape undergoing continuing budget cuts. The minimum wage was rising. The school could no longer afford to pay me. And gone was my $800 a month paycheck. A little less than 500 euros. That's what full-time at $5.15 an hour gets you. The economy was bad. Poverty levels in eastern Kentucky kept on rising. The positive, if you can call it a positive, that the poverty level was high enough for school systems to start getting federal funding to upgrade their infrastructure. My boss, being the good guy that he was, he helped set me up with a job at a company installing these physical cables and hardware throughout schools throughout eastern Kentucky. The job sites were hours away, all over the place. There'd be plenty of overnight manual labor for me to do, pulling those reams of cable, night after night. Didn't stop me from applying to IT work. Kept on doing it. Applied all over the country. The US, of course. It was rejection after rejection. I kept focused. I called, I inquired. I wanted to figure out, well, what am I missing? Wasn't a local candidate. Nobody had time for somebody from out of town. Now let's talk about Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky had never been a place that was easy to find work. Economic crisis or not. It was hit hard. Like many others. I knew what I had to do. I had to leave, but I would have to move. But where to? Dallas? New York? LA? What was I gonna do? Just pick up and go? With what money? With what savings? Jobless, move to a major city? That's enough to leave one in financial ruin in a good month or two. Europe? Huh? I went ahead and told my boss I'm off to Europe. He wished me luck. I was off on good terms. But Europe? What are you thinking, Gizmo? Europe wasn't much better off, hit hard by that same economic crisis. Not like it was a wonderland filled with jobs. Still isn't. Thing is, I had taken a year-long exchange up in Finland. I had met many people, had many contacts, all over Europe. And what this meant, I had places to stay, friends to be with. Same could not be said about the US, not outside Kentucky. The timing worked out. My brother had just landed a pair of flight vouchers that he couldn't use, as flight vouchers tend to be. But I could use it. I used it to grab the cheapest flight I could get into the EU. Dublin, Ireland. The first snow. When I landed there, Dublin was in chaos. Public transportation was shut down. Taxis wouldn't dare go anywhere. And I was here, walking off to my destination. The job search began. From Dublin to Amsterdam to Deventer, Utrecht, Budapest, Page, London, Tampere, finally Helsinki. But alas, no residence permit meant no work. No residence permit also meant I couldn't be staying around for much longer. The clock was ticking, but while I was sitting around in Tampere, I kept on seeing these ads on TV, on the radio, on posters. Study in Finland! Study in Finland! In English! Free! Alright already. I get it. A clear advertisement for what at the time it was Finland's free education in English to foreign students. And it clicked. For me at that moment, that was my ticket to stay. I applied. I got in. I got a residence permit. And at this point you'd think that with that residence permit, I could work. It wasn't that simple. Especially being that all those places that had quickly rejected me due to my lack of a permit didn't seem too eager to hire me once all my paperwork was in order, but headed down to Helsinki and onward to study. Now, get this. Before this point, I had never considered, never thought of, never wanted to get a master's degree. I didn't see the need. Like, what's the point? Not like my bachelor's degree helped me out very much. It was 4 years wasted, at least that's the way I thought at that time. And now I'm sitting here, I'm about to start a degree in what's considered one of the world's top universities. What the heck? And that's besides the point. Had the education not been free, I would have never applied. Now think about this. Think about how many people that are capable of furthering their education will not do it simply due to the cost involved. Look, I know scholarships are available. That's how I did my bachelor's. But not everyone is able to get them. You can argue, yeah, I get a student loan. That's a barrier. Plenty of capable students aren't going to do that. I wouldn't take that risk, not alongside that debt. I have no guarantee of a job after university. So why am I going to take that risk? You give me free? 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 Free is an easy decision. You say easy, Gizmo. Easy. What do you mean, easy? Okay, not always. It was tough. I'm sitting here, I'm a non-EU immigrant staying on what is a temporary permit. Temporary. Apart from showing my progress in studies, this temporary residence permit means that I have to continuously prove to this country that I am not and will not be a burden to society. Proof of this comes either in large sums of money sitting in my bank account or a steady income. Now, as lovely as it would have been to just have large, giant sums of money, I would have to work. That meant on the craziest months, holding down 2 full-time jobs and studying at 2 universities, all while biking about 50 kilometers a day. I was a postman, a research assistant, and a student at 2 universities. Exhausting. I do not and cannot recommend that life for anybody, ever. But at that time, for me, it was either that or head back to Kentucky. And what a place Finland is. Crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Safe, clean drinking water out of every tap. What a luxury. And you might think I'm joking, but there's nothing like it. The ability to open up that tap and just drink it. Hot water that's always hot. Now I know you probably don't want to hear about Finnish plumbing. I'm telling you, it's pretty good. about the rest of life? It's crazy good. When I sit here, and every job I've had, man, I'm probably taking advantage of. The standard benefits that everybody gets in Finland, for somebody who flew in from the US, unreal. 2 months vacation, sick leave, can't leave out healthcare. Yeah, that healthcare. Sitting around as a foreign student, non-EU student in Finland, you're required to have your own health insurance, some minimum level. Now at this point, let's just go back a little bit. Back to when I was living in the US. Back to when health insurance in my life was optional. Optional in the same way that life was optional. My plan in the US was the cheapest plan I could afford. What goes by the name of catastrophic insurance. I don't even know if that exists anymore. I had a plan that in essence covered absolutely nothing. The type of plan that says, hey, we'll probably, maybe help you out once your bill hits that $10,000 mark. You happen to meet the right criteria this year, one time, unless we decide not to cover it. Cool. Within my first few months in Finland, what happens? Bike accident, covered in blood, thrown into an emergency room, cleaned up, x-rayed, given a bit of medicine, and told to go home. Waiting anxiously for the bill, what's gonna happen? Whose great idea was to take me to the hospital? Could have walked that off, couldn't I? And the bill gets here. 400 euros. Now anyone who's rating in the US, especially back in that time, they're gonna find that absurdly cheap. Keep in mind, that was the full uninsured bill. Then I get a correction saying, hey, you live in Helsinki. You get the Helsinki resident price. 35 euros. Boom. What a world. Unbelievable. Now for the education, that's what I was here for. And I took advantage of it. You see, in the US, when we study, we make our decisions based on money. 1 extra year of studies is 1 extra year of tuition. Because you're paying for it out of your pocket. You study what's going to bring you back the most amount of money. What you call an educated gamble. But not here. I could take all the time I wanted. I could study anything I wanted. What a weird country. I took a full year to study 3D animation over at Aalto University. I spent a year studying the politics and economics of Eastern Europe. And I even had the chance for a short period to go off to Petrozavodsk State University over in Russia. What was meant to be a 2-year degree, it took 3. I wouldn't have it any other way. And I know some of you gotta point out, nothing is free. We all pay taxes. But those taxes, whatever they are, pay for those services that I've kind of grown to love. I'm happy to pay it. I mean, this country gave me the opportunity to have an education that I would have otherwise missed. This country has given me the highest quality of life I have ever witnessed. Can't give it up. There's your answer. Why there's no Finnish accent. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, hit that like button. If you didn't, dislike it. But I hope you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And otherwise, you have a good day, good night, and a good morning.